afternoon, and welcome to 80 is a New 40, Aging with Purpose and Passion. I have today a couple friends of mine, the Borellis, who run Borelli's Christmas Tree Farm in Johnston, Rhode Island. And this farm started in 1986, and I brought them here today because I thought they'd be inspirational to all of you who are thinking about retirement or maybe considering, well, I can't retire because what am I going to do? I need to have a business or a hobby, or I'm just one of those people who works a lot. So my two friends here are going to talk a little bit about their plan to start a business and what the joys and sorrows are of having your own business after retirement. So their business, again, is Borelli's Christmas Tree Farm, and I think I'll talk to Vince first because we were talking before the show about the initial plan. So Vince, just a little bit about Vince. He was a Scout executive in Rhode Island in the Narragansett Council for 17 years. So he's a manager, he's an operations person. He knows how to get things done, right, Vince?
I think so.
So was it your idea or was it Ginny's idea to start this business?
It was always my idea to get a farm.
Okay, great. And so
He's a great administrator.
oh, he's a great administrator.
He is.
Meaning a good manager?
Yes.
Or okay.
Yes.
Okay, so your idea, you're the idea person. So how did it, where did it come from? Where did the idea come from?
The idea came from a long time ago when I was a Scout executive in Pennsylvania, in DuBois, Pennsylvania. I belonged to Rotary, and we had a Rotary outdoor fellowship at Nelson's Tree Farm. And I watched them load Christmas trees into railroad cars, taking them to the metropolitan areas to sell. And I thought, gee, I'd love to do that someday. And I always had in the back of my mind that when I retired, I would have a farm. And be careful what you wish for, because it might come true.
There you are. That's great. And you lived in Rhode Island, kind of in the rural area, is that right, Ginny? So were you looking around for farms for a long time?
We were about 10 years, and having been in real estate at the time, when I expressed an interest in a piece of land, everybody thought I wanted to develop it and couldn't come to terms because they were expecting big bucks from a developer.
Yes.
So it took us a while.
I see. So Ginny was a real estate broker, agent, manager for 10 years. So you looked around for the farm. You found the perfect piece of land. Was it hard to find it, or?
Extremely.
It
Really?
was, yeah, it was.
How many acres did you need?
32 plus or minus a couple acres.
Okay.
We didn't need any. We were willing to take what we could find. And the parcel we have is about 32 acres.
Great. Okay, so tell us a little bit about the Christmas Tree Farm business. Like, what does it take to, it seems like it's just the two of you really in the operation, right?
Until we harvest.
Okay, then you get
then
friends.
we get help.
Okay,
for
so
that.
what's stage one, Vince? What do you have to do first?
Stage one. You buy seedlings. And since we were older when we started, I bought the biggest seedling I could get. There'd come 2 ones or 2 O's, 2 1s, 3 1s, 3 2s, 5 1s. That means it's a 5-year
Inches?
tree transplanted 3 times.
Oh my gosh.
That tree gets to be about that big, but the root system is about that big. So you have to have the equipment to plant them, tractor and a drill. And Ginny and my son would come behind me with the tractor and plant the trees while I drilled the holes.
Wow.
It takes about 8 to 10 years to bring the trees in.
Wow.
So
Bring them in from that seedling stage
that's
to
correct.
full tree. Wow. So you started 10 years before you really thought you were going to be in business.
no, in the early days when we first started planting, I said to Ginny, while we're waiting for the trees to grow, let's grow strawberries. So we put part of our farm into pick your own strawberries, and we had a wonderful time with the strawberries.
That's great.
Until the trees came in, and then it got to be too much.
You can't do both.
No.
Trees and strawberries are too
No.
much.
No.
So tell us a story about the strawberry farm, Ginny. I know you've always, I'm a friend of Ginny's, and every year in June, she has people over and has strawberry shortcake. You still have strawberries, right?
Yes, we do.
But what was that like? I mean, strawberries are easier to grow than trees, no?
No.
They're not?
They're very labor intensive because there's no very good weed control. So
Okay.
you get a lot of weeds, and it's a battle with the weeds all
Oh, I
the
see.
time.
So who does that? You did all the weeding?
Well, we both did. I better be careful, yeah.
Be honest now.
I have
Vince
to,
gets
I
more
have to
God-
admit,
God's listening.
he does most of the work.
Yeah. Well, it makes
But-
sense. It's not for
but-
everybody to get up in the morning and
Yeah, well, the fun of that was the families that come again, and especially the little children.
right.
I told you.
Yes.
They go in there and they're nice and clean. They come out all smeared with strawberries.
Right. So it's pick your own strawberries. You pay whatever, a certain amount per pint or something.
Yeah, a pound.
Per pound.
Yeah.
And you say to them, don't eat any strawberries.
No, we
No,
never,
we never
do
say
that.
that.
No,
No, never
because
say that.
I mean, it's impossible to go out there and
Oh,
not eat
yeah,
the strawberries.
in
So we
June.
wouldn't ask our customers to do that.
So they do what they can. So they
Yeah.
eat what they can and they show it
Buy what they
with
can.
their with their clothes. That's great. So you had the strawberry farm for the first, did you say 10 years?
5.
5 years.
5 years.
Okay. So, and that was every summer, very short season.
Every June.
June, just June. And
That's
meanwhile
for
you're
picking in June.
okay, picking in June, but growing.
But strawberries are interesting because you plant this year, pick the blossoms off, then you have strawberries next year. So you have a block coming, a block picking, and one block fallow, getting
That's-
ready for planting.
Okay, so that's how you do it.
Yeah.
And how'd you find all that out? Like, I wouldn't know that. Did you learn it from magazines? Or
Going to grower meetings and
a lot of farmers.
trial and error and
We joined a Strawberry Growers Association.
out there in Johnston?
yeah. we
No,
buy-
actually, Massachusetts, I think, at
no,
the
well,
time.
the strawberry growers are national,
Yeah.
Okay.
but Norris Farm in Fitchfield, Mass,
Yeah.
great supplier of strawberry plants, and all you do is call them up and they'll tell you whatever
Tell you
you want to
everything.
know.
Oh, that's great.
They're really great people.
So you really started from scratch, though. And,
Mm-hmm.
and how old were you, in your 70s? That's what I was saying. There are
No,
entrepreneurs in their
62,
62 when you started the
when we
first.
started.
And then you retired in what year?
90.
Which was 4 years later or something.
I was 62 when I retired.
Okay, great.
So we really started when I was 60
Okay.
with the planting of the trees. And then in 90 we started our first strawberry crop.
Great.
And then 91 our first harvest.
That's great. So I should say to the audience, these guests of mine are 84, but one's about to be 84 and one's 84, and they still have their Christmas tree farm going strong. So you have the long process of waiting for the trees. Now tell us about the actual business. When does it start? When do you open for business?
Well, the farm is constant.
Right.
The farm schedule begins really around April 1st as you get soil prepared and get things ready. You have to have fertilizer and supplies and all of that. Around the 15th you plant.
April
In May
15th.
you spray for insecticide. In July you're fertilizing and trimming. May you're fertilizing.
These are just the trees. We're not talking about strawberries anymore.
Not
No.
talking about strawberries,
This
we're
is
just
just
talking
for the
about
trees.
trees. And
Okay.
so I usually start trimming the second week of July, and it takes me till the 1st of September to get them done. That's with
Trimming,
8 to
meaning-
10,000 trees.
Wow. 8
So-
to 10,000.
So you're out there every day trimming,
That's
weather pending.
small. That's small for a Christmas tree farm.
8 to 10,000 trees.
Yeah, that's small.
That's small.
Yeah.
Wow. Seems like a lot of trees. Do you make a goal every day, I'm going to do 100 trees today, or
No,
you just do what you can?
depends on the weather. In the heat of the summer, we usually walk in the morning.
Right.
And then after we walk, Ginny goes to church, I go to work.
Mm-hmm.
And I usually work till about 11 or 12. And if it's really hot, then I don't go out anymore.
Right. That's enough. But you just do what you can in those morning hours.
If it's nice, I'll work all day. At this time of the year, I just love to be out.
Really. We're in November. It's kind of chilly out there, if you ask me. But you like it. Oh, that's great. Okay, well, so you got the farm going. You have that season of nurturing, fertilizing, spraying, trimming. And then when do you actually open? Ginny?
Columbus Day weekend.
And does anybody come on Columbus Day weekend?
We are busy Columbus Day
You're
weekend.
kidding.
Oh, no. They wait for that.
You're kidding.
Yes,
Wow. So they
yes,
come and
we're
tag their trees.
Very busy. And then we're open weekends until December, till Christmas.
And then every day.
We used to open every day, but we've been telling our customers that we're getting old now, and it's kind of hard for him to be
Out all
those
day.
trees by himself.
Oh,
so
I see.
we have been asking them this year for the first time to please come just on weekends. Although we will have some old customers who will come.
Just wanna come on a
and
Wednesday.
And we, probably do it.
Right, I see. So you have help at the harvest time.
And you will have
Yes.
people come off the street and say, I want to buy a tree on Wednesday in November, December. They're hard to sell in January.
I bet. They have to wait till next year, right?
Right.
So they have a great setup there, I should say. I've been there myself, and you have the beautiful farm with the rows and rows of trees, and you pick your own tree, and then a team goes out and cuts it down, right? So you have one person cutting, one person...
No, we have two people on teams, one cutter. Trees get heavy,
Yeah.
and they have to be put in the trucks. We cut them, bring them back to the stand, shake them. We have a mechanical shaker that shakes
Right.
all of the needles out of them,
Right.
or whatever else comes out of them. And then if they want them netted, we will net them and put the tree on the car.
So it's an yep. So and then you have hot chocolate for the people who are waiting around.
Yeah, actually we have 4 crews that do that usually at harvest time.
Wow.
Yeah.
4 crews.
Yeah,
And they're all relatives.
No,
not all.
I recognize most of them
Well,
as Borellis.
all of the relatives, but we don't have enough relatives, so we have to hire
So you
some
hire
others.
people.
Yeah,
That's great.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a very nice atmosphere. I liked that a lot. So you have that, so you pick your own tree. And do you only have a certain breed of tree?
we used to have several
Species.
different brands. When we first started, the tree of choice used to be white spruce, and they dropped the needles very quickly.
Yeah.
And then came Fraser fir. When the Fraser firs came in, and the concolor firs came in, they were very quickly turned into the tree of choice.
Yeah.
We had concolors, we don't have them anymore, they're all sold. We had white pine, they're all sold. So basically what we have now is
Fraser fir.
monoculture. We have mostly all Fraser fir.
And they're great. They last
They
forever.
are.
They
They're
don't
They're
shed.
beautiful and they don't shed.
They're a pretty color and they
And
smell.
People love them.
Yes, I love them too. So here we are. Sounds like you like your business. You're happy.
We are.
You're very busy, right?
Yeah.
Now, what advice would you have for someone who's maybe 65, 70, thinking about retiring, has a similar interest, maybe a person who wants to start a new business or a farm? I know I have the dream of starting a vineyard. Think I can do
Really?
it? I think
Again,
I can-
Mary, be careful what you wish for.
I'm sure I don't have the energy level or skill that you two have, though. So I'll need a lot of friends, lots of crews. But tell me what advice you'd have for them. First of all, what would you say is the most important attribute?
Retirement is like a new life. It needs to be, you need to have a plan.
Good.
If you don't have a plan, you're going to flounder. We did the first year. We thought we'd go to Florida. We bought an Avion trailer. I had a Suburban to drag it. We went down there for 2 months, hated it, came back. We thought, well, we'll leave the trailer at home and we'd go down and rent a place. The second year, we did that, hated it.
Really?
So we don't like Florida.
Okay.
No,
We don't like being that inactive,
Right.
not having any purpose in life or
Right.
anything meaningful to do.
Right.
And so we were very bored.
You both worked very hard during your working
But there's
life.
Yeah.
so many things that you can do, not necessarily to make money, but
Right.
there are so many volunteer things that you can do, so many avocations you can get into. But you got to do what you like.
I
When you're
agree.
retired, you ought to do what you like. You ought to
That's
not
right.
just do it to do it. You ought to be fun to do.
Yeah, I agree. That's wonderful. That's great advice. So have a plan, do what you like. If you're a busy person and you like to work, then keep busy, right?
Yes.
Go with your dreams. It sounds like you just had a dream. It wasn't that you were trained to do the
No.
farm thing.
I have a degree in biology.
Do you?
Yes. So
Science.
and my heritage, the hands of a
It's a hard
Italian
working man.
farmer.
A peasant.
My father had a farm in Italy, and when I was a child, my father and I grew our own vegetables. And when I was in 6th grade, I grew peanuts.
Did you?
in a place where you don't grow peanuts.
I wondered about that, how that was done.
I grew cotton just to grow cotton.
Good for
So
you.
it's something you need to be interested in.
And you were interested too, Ginny?
When I was home, we moved and bought a new house, and it had a garden, and I wanted to make it pretty, and so I started there, and I loved working outside, and I love flowers.
You love flowers. Who doesn't?
And
Yeah.
so
This was in
yes.
your new retirement home, or your home that you moved
I'm
from
from Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania to
Yeah,
Rhode Island?
yeah.
I see. Great. Okay. So go with what you like. And how about money? Let's talk. I mean, is it hard? Did you have to make a big investment to start? Or did you think, okay, did you do the spreadsheet and say, well, I'm going to make my money back in 10
In
years?
farming, there's always a large investment to make. You need a tractor.
Mm-hmm.
You need mowers. You need trimmers. You need chainsaws. You need a lot of equipment.
Right.
And so it doesn't come cheap.
Right. There's no cheap way to start.
But you do it gradually.
So you didn't buy
You know,
everything at
you
once.
don't buy everything at once.
Okay.
So first of all, you buy the plants and start them to grow.
Yeah.
And, you know, so it's a gradual thing. It's not like you have to
You have to have all the trimming
Right.
equipment right away because they
No.
were too small.
No.
Yeah. But did you join an association of Christmas tree people
Oh, yes,
too?
we
Yes.
belong to the Rhode Island Christmas Tree Growers
Yes.
Association.
Oh, good.
And
So
it's
they
very,
helped.
very helpful.
Sure, they
Yeah.
teach you
Very
how to
helpful.
They have 2 meetings a year, spring and fall, and they invite experts to come in, usually from Yukon, and
Really?
they tell you about tree growing,
What to spray.
pesticide spraying,
Yeah, yeah.
what chemicals work on what. So
And
it's
it really works.
It works.
really
It's a
helps.
really great place for sharing of information.
And,
Right.
and what we find is if there's something going on with trees on one plantation in the state, we all have it. You
Some
know,
sort of
you learn
illness
that.
or something,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
It's not, you think, oh my gosh, what did we do wrong? And then you talk to the other growers and they all had the same problem that year.
Maybe it had to do with the weather or
Right.
something. Yep.
Right.
That's great. Okay. So you're both 84. It's a
Yeah.
great age. This show is all about people over 80.
Oh,
80
really?
or over.
Okay.
So what are your
I
challenges
don't know
now?
what's so great about it.
Right. It's an inspirational show about being 80 and
To
over.
you, it's
something,
inspirational.
something to look
To
forward
me, it's
to.
old age.
So tell me, what's the plan? I mean, your business has been going now since 1990, I guess, really up and running since 90, right? The Christmas tree shop, Christmas
Well,
tree.
no, we retired. He retired in 90.
Retired in 90, but you started selling.
Started cutting in about 1995.
Oh, 95 is when you
Yeah.
started. Okay, so it's about,
No, it's more than,
No, about 1995 we
Okay,
started
we-
cutting
yeah, we-
because the
Oh,
white
that's
spruce
good.
grow very quickly.
yeah.
well, it's almost 20 years. That's
Yeah.
great. 20-year
And
business.
I don't
Passing
plant
it along?
anymore. I'm not planting anymore.
No more planting.
No.
Okay, so what about your sons? They're not going to take over.
My son in California has his own business, and a very nice business. He is not about to come back here. My other son, who is here, or would rather play golf.
And
Unlike you.
My daughter has a horse, so
There's
they-
nobody who's going to take over at this point.
well, you know, they would both. The ones who are here would both like to have the farm, and so we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, but not necessarily Christmas tree work.
I don't know.
We'll see.
You will see.
Okay, so you've stopped planting, but you have a lot of trees to sell.
Yeah.
still.
Yes.
Yeah, we
yes.
have
And they have a website, Borelli'sTreeFarm.com.
Borelli'sChristmasTreeFarm.com. Yeah.
Borelli'sChristmasTreeFarm.com. Okay, good. So 84, so you're going to keep going for a couple more years anyway.
As long as God
Us for the
allows.
eternal home.
That's great.
It's not really up to us.
Yes, that's right. Okay, but you're slowing down a little bit. You're not doing any new
Right.
work. Okay, good. Okay, well, I think that's it. Do you have any advice for people in their 80s? Is it too late starting in being over 80? Or
I'd say my advice to anybody over 80, keep breathing.
keep reading?
Breathing.
Oh, breathing. Don't stop. Okay, that's great. Well, thank you so much. Vince and Ginny Borelli came all the way from Johnston, Rhode Island to inspire us today. And they are two of the most hardest working people I know. And they're very generous. They've been very kind to the community. The community really enjoys their farm. So thank you again for coming.
You're welcome, Mary. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary.
This program was made possible through the generous support of your Medfield friends and neighbors, folks just like you. And thanks for watching.